So I've given a share option to you. You can start your.
Please confirm if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. Okay. So today I will explain you introductions to RPA, UiPath architecture, why, where we are using it, and even with the help of some example, I will also explain you how and which all tools are available in RPA industry. So what you will get it from this sessions, we'll cover what is RPA, feature of RPA, benefits, what is UiPath, the features, which all components are needed into UiPath, their architectures, and some detail about Power Automate, which is a product of Microsoft. About me, I'm having 13 years of experience into IT industry, including RPA, software testing, and process automations. 8+ year into the training industry, and I'm the one of the founder of Raigurku.com, handling 2 YouTube channel, which is related with RPA as well as technical content. And I'm one of the UiPath most professional, valuable professionals, holding this title from last 3 years. My industries are IPTV, retail, BFSI, and healthcare domain. So feel free to ask your questions, stop me and ask your questions at any point of time so that I can clarify immediately. Now, before proceeding further, to understand RPA and the use cases, their future trends and tool, let's first understand with one example. So John is a player, or John is an employee who wanted to send an automated email. So he has to attach the invoice number, invoice amount, invoice date, PO number, everything. He needs to write it down manually. So this is a manual process which he will regularly perform at the time of sending out any details to their end user or to their superiors. So let's consider he has to just either fill the detail in Excel file and copy and paste it from here to the email body. So normally this will consider time, and because this is a repetitive task, so after a few days, John will get irritated to send out this email, or maybe he get bored in that case. So this is a general process which every employee is following. At the end of the day, this email will be triggered to his manager or the superior member. Now, this is a manual process which John is doing on regular basis, where he has to take out the data from the email, add into the Excel file, all those informations, and these Excel will be shared to the manager. Now, this is a time consuming and a repetitive task which needs to be taken care by bot, because every day he is doing the same work again and again. Now, next, when we have any processes which is repetitive and the nature of work is, after some days that task will be going to remain same, some minor changes here and there. Maybe the subject body will get changed or invoice number will get changed, and because he is getting invoice on the regular basis, he just have to collaborate it and add into the Excel file, and post that this Excel will be shared to his manager. Now, if we want to automate, we have to perform this with the help of RPA. This will take very less amount of time for extracting the detail from the email body, adding into Excel, or maybe adding into the PDF or maybe PowerPoint anywhere. And then after collaborations, the bot itself will automatically send out this email to John's manager. So the benefit we are getting through bot will work 24/7. John for few days might be, because of that critical reason, he might require to work on uh, not 28 hours. Maybe if he is extending his regular working hours from 8 hours to 10 hours, for few days it's doable, right? But if this nature of work has to extend or do on the regular basis, then for John it's not at all possible. Let's consider he has to wake up around 3 a.m. in the morning and do all those calculations and send out the email to his manager. So again, for 1 or 2 days, that will be fine because of the business requirement. He has to work on it. But if this will be needed to perform on the regular basis, definitely it's challenging. So there will be two options. One, our employer has to hire at least three resources who has to work in all three shifts, or they have to automate the process. So with RPA, we can automate everything and schedule it. So based on the scheduling mechanisms, this will be auto trigger. So this is how RPA comes in the picture. Now let's understand what is RPA. So RPA is Robotics Process Automations, where robotics stands for anything that mimic human actions. So let's go back to the previous example where fetching the detail from the email body, adding into the Excel, and finally sending out an email to John's manager is the repetitive task, which robot can do it. So here RPA is helping each one of the employee to create their own bot to minimize their regular effort. So rather than doing repetitive activity by John, he will assign his own task to robot, and maybe he can work on some other productive work which will be required human intelligence. So in that case, robot will do all those mimic actions which was done by John. Next, process is the set of sequential actions which leads to desired result. So extraction of the data, second, adding the data into Excel file, and sending out an email is the sequential process which will be done by robot itself. So no human interventions will be required once the process is set up. And finally, the automations, anything that will be done without any human interactions, where we can schedule the process at any point of time, and whenever it is needed, the process will trigger automatically. So this is the complete process, or even in the form of example, we have covered what is robotic process automations. Do you have any questions till now?
Not yet. Afraid, if you have any questions.
Okay. So taking silence as no, let's move into the next step. So what is not a RPA? So because I have heard from the many of the user who is just trying to enter into the RPA space, is RPA is a hardware robot, or this is performing any humanoid options, or walking or talking robots on humanoid, or it is a warehouse robot. So exactly not, these all are not related with the RPA. RPA is a software bot system which will get installed into your environment, and based on our command, this will act. So it's a software, not a hardware component. So, and even this will not require human replacement. It means this will help human to minimize their regular efforts, as well as create accuracy and finish the repetitive activity. So what robots can do? So these are the just simple example which I have notified, which I've added here, but there are a lot more things we can do it with the help of RPA or their RPA robots. If we have software like Salesforce or ServiceNow like application, that is ERP system, majorly used in across all those industry. In that case, if we have to perform login in this applications, normally it will take 30 seconds of human. But when we are trying to do the login through bot, it will not take more than 3 seconds. So if I have to do the login 300 times in a day. So it means roughly we are saving 30 minutes of their time span for just doing the login, right? So this is just one scenario where we are trying to just do the, we are not just doing the login on any ERP application, we are doing a lot more things. In Salesforce applications, let's consider we have to create a PO. So PO is again a repetitive task based on the informations on data. Human being is creating a purchase order. A PO means purchase order. So if bot has to perform for creating any purchase order depending on application to applications and their feasibility as well as the speed. So if everything will be perfect for creating PO in Salesforce, it will not take more than 30 seconds. So just one example, moving files and folder. Let's say we have files available on shared drive and we want to copy into a local system or local hard drive. That is also possible or doable. Read and write to the database, any database like Postgres, SQL Server, or Oracle. We can easily connect with RPA with database. Scraping data from the web, so extracting details from the website and pasting into the Excel file, or maybe extracting detail and sending out directly email, that extracted data on email, that's also doable. Connecting to system APIs, let's say we are working on any API like Jira API or Salesforce API or even ServiceNow API, that is also doable. Extracting content from the documents like PDF, emails, form, creating forms, that is also doable. Opening emails attachment and storing into this local folder. So generally when we are talking about these terminologies, if you're thinking like these are very small stuff which robot can do, no, sometimes this is a very time consuming process. Let's consider taxation system. In every year, all across the globe, all the governments are calculating written files, and these written file few of the countries are taking in the form of email, and this email parts will be managed by any third party. So the pain point of that third party there, let's consider we have a volume of 13 million. So 30 million residents who has did the taxation return file and they have sent out the written detail on email. If third party has to manage this, definitely they have to put a lot more effort. And because the time durations will be very less where they have to process the return and everything, that's the reason it's measure for them to do it very quickly. So in that case they have to add lot more resources for just 1 or 2 months of the span and finish that activity within the 60 days, I mean 60 or 90 days maximum. So this process is prone to time consuming. Even they have to finish on within the deadlines, the efficiency and accuracy will be required. If the attachment will be saved in someone else folder, let's consider uh, any human being who is trying to download my file and they have saved into the person B's folder, definitely that will prone to the error. So in that case, this process are looks like a very small process, but when we have the volume, bot will do it very quickly and without having any error in the downloads of the folder or sending an email. Making calculations or generating cash flow documentations. Then as I mentioned earlier, we can create the purchase order. That is a very advanced level, but these are the simple examples which robots can do. Any questions here?
So without creating a bot,
Yeah.
we want to perform just one operation, say open emails and attachments. Can we do that without creating a bot?
Even a simple process is also called as bot. So bot will do it once we will be able to do it, but there are sequential operations which needs to be performed to run the bot. Let's say to open the email, first we have to connect with the email system. and where we are using some activities. Normally in terms of other programming language, we have to write the package, right? Or maybe we have to write within the functionality, maybe we have to create the functions, and based on the functional code, this will auto trigger. So even if you have these two steps, and we have built using any tool, RPA tool like UiPath or Power Automate, that is called as bot. So
Got it.
uh, hope I
So
answered the question.
yeah. So what is the language you use for the doing the
So
and the configuration?
RPA is a low code platform. You don't have to literally sit down and write the code. That's the reason RPA processes are much simple, and this will save lot of time in development as well. So if you are creating any bots, if I'm considering the example of Power Automate, so Power Automate is basically built on PowerScript. So over there you can use VB.NET or C Sharp. Exactly same thing you can also use in UiPath as well. So most of the RPA tool are based on any OOPS concept language. I'm just taking just two example here. If we are considering automation anywhere, so automation anywhere is having a different path. Robocore is having required to learn Python. So depending on the tools, if you're comfortable with .NET and VB, go ahead with the UiPath and Power Automate. So there are a lot more vendors, exactly same like we have a uh, any single products of phone. Let's consider phone. So in market you have 30, 40 or 50 brands, right? Similar way in RPA also we are having various brands. So based on their brand name, that will differ the language. But basically all those RPA tools are low code basis. You don't have to sit down and do the coding. Simply you have to just drag and drop activity and customize it according to your requirement.
Hmm. Yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Any other question? Okay. Now, what is the use of RPA in business? So there are several industries who is using or already accepted the RPA processes. Uh, Education, so in enrollment of the process, attendance robot, scheduling the meetings, classroom and online learning, answering questions of or queries of students or the learner, then the library robots creating alerts or sending out notifications to the learner, hey, this course is published, or these are the certifications, generating certificates, creating a grade sheet. Everything can be done in the education industry. So I've listed few of the industries which are majorly using as of now, but these are not limited at all. From last 5 years, if you see the trends, so RP industries are going from at a speed of 200%. So I'm not saying this is the forecast from the one of the big player. I will explain you in the further slides. Supply chain industry is having inventory management, invoice and contact management. IT industries are related with server, app monitoring, routine maintenance monitoring. Then IP is also using ticketing system like ServiceNow, Salesforce, then Wisdom, and even Workday as well for the payroll system. So everything will be able to automated using these RPA tools. And normally these tools are regularly used in across all those industry. So RPA is helping to boost all those industry to boost their business as well as minimizing the time frame which we are normally getting at a manual process. Then streamlining the HR processes, payroll management, onboarding and offboarding of employee, document collections. So normally HR is always complaining, hey, sometimes they have to struggle a lot for doing recruitment post. So recruitment post and even getting or shortlisting the profile, everything can be done by using RPA. In terms of client services, addressing change, scheduling appointments, as well as creating chatbot. With the help of RPA, we can also build chatbot very quickly. So in the accountings will consider the accounts reports, updates, and the operations is majorly using RPA processes to order creations, update, work order, and request. So these are not limited to only these of the industry. Retail industries are using for online store management. Then online store management is a very big name where there are a lot of processes are running. If we are considering Amazon, so Amazon is having a lot of stores which is located on the different server. If for any users he has to monitor it on the timely basis, that is possible. But if for single person they have to sit down, literally sit down and monitor each second of their time frame, what's going on, which store is up and running, which store is not performing well. For doing that, it's at all not possible for the human being. So that is required to add the RPA processes or bot who can handle it very efficiently. What all benefits normally we are getting when we are using RPA processes? First benefit is increased execution speed. So for the as I mentioned in the first example, where John has to create the complete process within that. Normally, if for sending out email he is taking 30 seconds, bot can send email within 3 seconds as well. So I'm just giving one example that will differ from the process to process, that will refer from application to applications, but on an average durations it will take not more than 3 seconds for just sending an email. So if John has to extract the detail from invoice and generated Excel file, conversion of invoice and to the Excel itself will take for John minimum 5 minutes. But with the help of bot, we will be able to churn out within 30 seconds the complete process. So that's how this increased execution speed and efficiency we are getting. Accuracy is also correct. Human being is always having some different thought process when they are working on the different or multiple tasks. They might end up of sending an error or giving an error. But if we will train our bot in such a way like the process has to be done within the sequential flow, the bot will never fail to deliver any accuracy related issue. Then the improved regulatory compliance. So most of the RPA process or tools are well compliant. That's the reason all across the globe, mostly industries has accepted. Even BFSI domain is also using. Then telecom industry is also using these processes. Retail is already adopted, I think before 5 years itself. Then the reduced cost of process executions and easier scaling, we can easily scale it and configure it. Connecting with the different tool set is also very much easy to connect any third party application with the RPA tool. Now, what all growth normally we are getting, and these growth or forecast is not from my side. This complete chart I've prepared it through Gartner. Gartner is one of the leading player who is always coming up with the different stats and their calculations. So future of work as of now it's 97 million which they have quoted in the year 2020. This might get a difference in the CO, but slightly different might be that increase to 98% or 96%. Increasing job demand. So growth is already 40% as of now. So most of the companies or industries are moving towards RPA and artificial intelligence, because RPA is also well equipped with the ML and AI processes where we can perform any document extractions with the help of AI. That's the reason the growth opportunity is always high. Yearly basis this is the 40% yearly basis. So as of now US itself is adopted 40% of annual growth. So this was statement from the LinkedIn 2020 emerging job reports. Market size growth as of now is 40.6% CAGR, where the global RPA market size was valued at USD 1.4 billion in 2019. As of now, this is increased till 1.7, and CAGR is 40.6%. Again, these are research which is done by Grand Weaver's Research. Jeep Recruiter has informed to world where 114 per year well-paying jobs are available as of now in the market, including all RPA vendor. This is not generally just related with the Power Automate or UiPath. I'm stating here for every RPA tool. Rapid business transformations, which is mostly 84%, which is provided by the Gartner report, and the EMSI report has published 5,000 plus opening daily active RPA job postings. So in terms of recruitment, in terms of job opportunity, high paid scale is always there with the RPA industry, because as of now they are well equipped with the ML and AI skill. That's the reason mostly industries are accepting it. And in terms of security concerns, most of the RPA tools, I'm just taking the name in the security reason behind it. Not all RPA tools are well equipped with the security. UiPath, Power Automate, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, as well as few other tools are MAD, that is encryption process, and as a part of regulations or compliance industries, they are HIPAA certified. So in terms of compliance and security concerns, they are MD5 encryption method. They are using MD5 encryption method as well as AES encryption method. So AES encryption method are normally used in US military, US Army. None of other organization is using, because the decryption process is too complex. That's the reason mostly industries are using MD5 only, or other decryption or encryption method. But in RPA, you can find it out in many of the tools. The tool name which I mentioned or the product name which I mentioned are mostly with AES and MD5 encryption technologies. Any questions till now?
Oh, so is it related to the industry? For each industry, you have different standards that RPA comes up.
So the concepts are same across all this industry, but the processes can be varied, right? So if I'm trying to automate the retail processes, so retail process are related with their compliance, right? BFSI domain is much more concerned related to security, because they are directly dealing with the transactions related information, customer related informations. So that's the reason encryption process and compliance is much for them. So if I'm just considering the US government, so US government is not allowing the company who is not certified with the HIPAA. So in that case, they have to get certified, then only they will launch their product in US. So because of the regulations, and even if these certifications are not valid, none of industry will accept it, right? So because of the criticality, they have already learned from their past mistakes. Now most of the tools are MD5 encryptions as well as AES, and then certified with the compliance regulatory, because to access the data, they are not storing any informations within their tool. For accessing the data, they have to be certified. Hope
Got it.
that is clear.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No question about the companies that you're using. Is it a small scale or medium size or large,
Uh,
and a
you,
big,
you can
big?
find it out mostly in both the domains, totally depending on their requirements and how much capable they are. So for adopting these tools, normally they will need skill set. So if their employee is not well equipped with this RPA tool, definitely they have to learn first, or they have to hire the new employees. So small scale industries, if you are asking with me a percentage, just 1% of industries, small scale industries using. But in terms of mid scale and large companies who is having employee base of more than 5,000 employee, they are using 40% of their frame. So i- you can consider 40% in RPA, and rest other processes or rest other tools are used by just 60%. So you will always find higher side. From last 3 years, this trend has grown up because of the COVID and all.
So, what is the prerequisite for this course? Something I had to know before joining this course.
So before joining this course, you may have to be having the understanding of technologies. It's not limited to you. You should know about any programming languages. All basics will be good to have, but it's not at all mandatory. We will cover it in terms of course as well. We'll explain you how we can go ahead with this coding and all, because here it's just a drag and drop. At the end of sessions, I will show you how we can build a small process, so you will get a proper understanding about it. So it's not like Java, Python, and C Sharp or C++ programming language, where you have to just, for even popping up a message, you have to write the code, right? But here it's not like that. The configurations will be must required. String manipulations will be needed, where when you are converting, just like if we have Deepak space Rai. So space, if I have to remove it, in Java and Python, I have to write at least 2 lines of code, right? But here we have to just set up the configurations. We have to just learn the tool, how we can use it. And once you will have understandings, you will be able to perform any activities. Clear?
Yeah, in case if the standard RPA is not enough, so I have to customize it, come up with a new. So
Yes.
then I have to do the customization using the.
Right, right. So if
Okay,
you have to build the process itself by your own, definitely you have to learn the coding language. But whichever process is available or whichever activity is available, you have to use it. It's a totally a drag and drop based tool.
got it. Thank you.
Now, why choose RPA as a career? So it's a common questions by most of the tech enthusiasts. Reason behind it, it's a grooming market where you can find it out lots of jobs and higher salary packages as well. So if you can see, these forecasts are provide the future of job reports in the year 2018, estimated to be displayed as this person in the millions of jobs, less than uh, 80k million, and sorry, 80 millions jobs, and estimated to emerge till the end of the year, because they have estimated in the beginning of 2018, and where they're estimating this job profile 120 plus million. So that's the difference you can see within a year. And industry trends by 2025, you can see it's around 130 million. So because most of the industry is trying to shift their positionings into the RPA and AI and ML, because most of the RPA tools are well equipped, as I mentioned, well equipped with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. If you want to perform the data analysis, you can also do it by using RPA. You have to automate your process. If you want to generate any applications or build your chatbot, where augmented reality will be required, or maybe sentiment analysis will be needed, that also it's doable. So you don't have to include any other product or tool within that RPA to perform all those activities. RPA itself is capable enough to give you result. Now, end-to-end automation is the path. So normally, whenever we are starting with any RPA tool, first is discovery, to understand the complete automation opportunity in process, which will be required, the powered by AI and our people. So AI side will need it from the bot side of it, and the second, people who is doing that activity on the regular basis manually. So this understanding will, or taking all those requirements and requirement gathering, as well as building or drafting the complete requirement into the sheet, and post that which tool will be needed, that decisions will be taken care by solution architect and business analyst. And after that, Based on their opinion, the RPA developer will start building the bot or build the automations quickly from the simple to advanced level, totally depending on the how the process or complexity of the process. So small to uh, if the process is small, we will be able to deliver that process within a week. If the process is still medium, within 2 weeks that's possible to doable. But if we are comparing with other programming language, it will minimum take 3 months. So that's the difference you will get through RPA to other programming language. If the process is large enough or complex process, that is doable within a month. So totally depending on the process to process, how they will phrase it as a part of estimations and how much time it will take to build. And finally, managing, deploying, and automating automations. Within the RPA, there is the orchestrator. Orchestrator will help us to schedule the process. So whenever it's required, that process will trigger automatically. Let's consider we have to send out email at 1 a.m. and the resources are not available. So before leaving the office, the resources schedule the process, and based on the schedule event, it will auto trigger, and they don't have to modify it or do it regularly. We have to just perform one time scheduling, and that will run forever, totally depending on how you are sending the command. Running automations to robots that work with the application and data. When we need data from the different resources, bot can also do it. Engaging people and robots as one team to seamless process collaborations, and measuring operation and their performance. Because finally, ROI is also needed. Return on investments on any bot process. Now, coming down to the tool, so UiPath is launched in the year 2005 by Daniel Dennis. This is one of the RPA tool in the market and this industry leading tool. So reason behind it, why I've selected just two tools as of now. One is UiPath and second is Power Automate. Totally depending on your interest or participant interest, which tool we can prefer, that we can take a decision afterward. But just sake of understanding or explaining you, I have used two tools. One is UiPath and second is Power Automate, which was a product of Microsoft. So these two tools are market leaders in the RPA industry, where most of the industries are going ahead with this. There are many reasons related to it, because people are trusting on these two products. Microsoft is still a trustworthy application. That's the reason mostly people are preferring that. But in terms of caliber and capability, these tools are always sitting on the same level. So these are the Gartner reviews. I will skip this part where Gartner has provided multiple reviews on the leader point of view. And whenever this leaderboard will be generated, there are multiple factors which is involved, like how many users are using, which all industries are accepting, then how much time it is taking for building any process, and they are doing the comparison with other tools as well. Then how many job opportunities are there, how capable enough to do the automation in all those area, like web-based automation, desktop automations, or API automations, then process automation. So all those things, calculating everything, Gartner is providing this type of review. Any questions so far?
Yeah, good so far.
Okay, thank you. Now, this is a chart or leaderboard. So these pointer, if you can see here, these are the applications. So here you can see UiPath, and this is like in the Microsoft. So here normally they are keeping five category. Within these five category, they are giving this review. So these four or five tools are on top, but most of the industries are using these two, UiPath and Microsoft. So in some of the processes UiPath is lower, in some of the processes are Microsoft lower. Most of the time you can see this is the darkest region in the blue, where these tools are lying here. So, and these are the lower priorities. SAP automation is also there, Highland, Pega system, data metrics. So UiPath and Microsoft are most ever used by the Gartner review. And Gartner reviews are not only taking reviews from any experts, they are also taking opinion from the employer as well. how they are thinking, how much the cost. Even cost is also important factor when they are providing these type of review. Now, UiPath automation's path and their products. UiPath is having total 23 products as of now, depending on the areas to areas. But for developments, we will just need Studio and Orchestrator. Orchestrator is majorly used for the scheduling of the process, where we can schedule our process and manage our complete robot, tenant, everything in Orchestrator. For development, we have to install Studio. Orchestrator will be cloud-based applications. Even recently, they have launched cloud portal as well for the Studio, but that is in beta phase. So mostly people are still using Studio for development, and these two tools are needed. Other than that, they have automation hub, process mining, task capture, task mining. All those are very detailed sessions. But in terms of this course, we are going to cover Studio with Orchestrator. Now, what is the architecture? So normally UiPath suites have three core components which is needed for development. One is for the designing and doing on the automations, where we are building the workflow visually with the minimal use of code, where we don't have to write down a lot of code or do this. After that, we are deploying into Orchestrator, and Orchestrator will control everything, like managing the rules, permissions, setting the schemas, setting the time frame, then environment, everything we can do it in the Orchestrator. And robot, once the solutions will be built in the Studio, we are pushing this robot or the code. So either you can call it as a code or robot, both are same. So in terms of RPA technology, we are calling this as a robot. So this robot is actually executing the processes which we have built in Studio, and this will be deployed in the Orchestrator. Based on the time frame, we can run it. This is not only with the orchestration. Some of the processes are needed to run manually as well, because they have some dependency. In that case, we can also trigger the process manually. So it's not mandatory we can schedule the process. Few of the processes are demanding to run it manually. So for running or doing the manual executions, we have to just click one button, where we can go inside the orchestrator, or with UiPath Assistant. There is one add-on within this. With UiPath Assistant, we can run the process manually as well. Now, this is a simple flow. Maybe you can get understanding about this. If I have to do the double click actions, we will have the activity. Bot is just trying to drag and drop these features, and based on this command, this will do the double click operations. So we don't have to write this code. We have to just use their packages and drag and drop this code to here, and this will auto run or auto perform the double click action. So this is how Orchestrator will looks like, where you can see how many transactions or process has been ran successfully, how many are failed. So based on the color codes, you can identify it. So this is the complete cloud portals. And how the robot will looks, how many types of robots we have. So in automation industry, robot types are attended and unattended. Attended, it means manual user has to run it manually, and unattended, we can schedule it. So these two processes are robot as of now. If you have any questions so far?
One question about the cloud. So who is managing this cloud?
So cloud platform will be managed by their orchestrator, but even UiPath is also giving the services where based on our licenses and services, they will manage it. So and even this is not only just limited to cloud. This version is also available in on-prem. So if any industries who's not accepting the cloud versions, UiPath is giving feasibility where they can deploy orchestrator into their on-prem version. So on premises.
Oh, okay, got it. So
So
we don't have to worry about the cloud, the how it is deployed, it is running on the cloud. So that is not a concern.
Yes, that will be not a concern when we are running the orchestration process through the cloud, because they are very big giant who will never steal or information and data. They are not storing any data related informations. Normally, industries are having these concerns, right? So if the bot or tool is saving our data or not, they are sending the external emails or not. So in that case, UiPath is giving the complete privilege. If you are not trusting us, you can take this orchestrator and deploy it into your orchestrator in your on-prem version, and we will help you. So they are giving the guidance as well as some support, including with the license itself. So based on their guidance, any administrator will be able to install it within any company. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Now, how to install it? I will share this document with you where you can use it. There are portal. I will just show you. So to install the UiPath, I will just give you some insight, and post that I will create one flow so that you will get a proper understanding about it. UiPath, just navigate to the uipath.com, and from there you can try UiPath for free. And for learning point of view, they are giving this license for free of cost for 60 days, which they will keeps extending. So for training and learning point of view, they are not charging, but yes, for business point of view or enterprise versions, they are charging. But there is a not much difference except orchestration. Orchestrations are also free, but we can schedule it. So scheduling is not possible with trial version, which we can get it a scheduling process with enterprise version. So let's build one small single process. So you want me to cover this example in UiPath or Power Automate so that I can proceed it further?
Actually, I think the time is running up, right, Deepak.
Okay.
So let's not to work on the things. So yeah, we are good with the demo. Thanks for that, providing your 1 hour time. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Don't mind of that. But
No,
the
no
time
issue.
is wrapping up, so that's the reason we can. So as things worked, and we'll reach you. What is a good time tomorrow? So to reach you and have a discussion, Deepak.
Uh, hmm, you can call me, because tomorrow I don't have any scheduled call and all, so that's fine.
Okay,
You can call
okay.
me anytime.
We'll reach you. We'll reach you at that
Yeah.
in a specific particular time. I'll reach you, and
Okay.
I'll try to have a word with you,
Okay.
and we'll continue from there.